Beside Anderson Square in Georgetown and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. It is Tuesday, right, Miss Susan? Tuesday. I know. It feels like Monday and wishing it was Friday. Monday was a holiday, but hey, we're going to get off to an excellent start and focus on education with the good friends from UCCI at 1 o'clock and 1:30. It's going to even get better, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome, and thanks very much for joining us. And in the studio from UCCI, Dean Paul Parker joins us. And, when we have an opportunity to focus on education, especially as we get into the summer, students are graduating, finishing their school term, and there's that period of sort of summer where they're enjoying themselves, but looking forward with a hopeful expectation to the next school year, whether that's a new school, whether that's a new venture in the academic studies. There's excitement, and the better we plan and prepare, I guess the more we're able to embrace and engage, right, Dean Paul?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, learning, they say, is the best way to go about life. Learn a new thing every day. But tomorrow evening, I think, from what I gather, you guys have another offering for us to even be more informed and involved. So yes. Share with us, sir.
Well, thank you so much again, Sterling, for, as always, graciously inviting or having the UCCI. And I'm here on behalf of my division, the Professional and Technical Division, to promote our open house tomorrow. As you correctly said, it's the time that we want to get the public aware of what courses are coming in September, so that they can begin to apply from early. And so there'll be a number of full-time one-year programs, full-time evening programs in the trade sector, things like HVAC from levels 1 and 2, electrical levels 1 through to 3, plumbing levels 1 and 2, solar photovoltaic, project management for construction, supervision, and a whole lot more. We also have short courses that persons who want to upskill, and we're going to be introducing 2 new short courses: content development for social media marketing. Yes, that's one. As you know, we have UCCI TV, and I'm thinking that we're going to use that platform to really get persons understanding, how to build their social media content. And the other one that we'll be also launching among the others is event production. Very often people are doing different types of weddings, different types of pageants, different types of productions. And so getting how to best manage and get through those events. And so tomorrow, it's open to all the entire public. So far, we have 75 people who have registered, and we look forward to seeing as many walk in. That's where you can, if you want to do English as a second language, you want to do your business writing, whatever course you want to upskill yourself in, whether it's general accounting, QuickBooks, the session is for you tomorrow. Come hear about the different potential scholarships that are available to Caymanians. I know people say, the cost of living is high, but one thing that for education that we've tried and we pride ourselves at the UCCI is to keep education affordable. And in doing so, we have the good fortune of the support of not only the Ministry of Education, who has continued to look for ways and avenues for us to provide scholarship funding, the Ministry of Tourism and Ports as well, but we have private sector organizations like the Cayman Consolidated Water, the Massive Group, and Polar Bear, who have all come forward to offer scholarships to Caymanians who want to pursue specific training for 1 year in a specific craft. And so come on out tomorrow, hear about those scholarships, hear what you can do to make yourself more marketable, make yourself skill ready, and to be ready for the world of work.
And that's 6 p.m. tomorrow evening.
6 p.m. tomorrow in the Savassil Hall.
So for those who have not been to the campus in a while, you come in and this courtyard is there. It's almost straight ahead, almost.
Yes.
And from what you shared, though, it would appear to many the opportunity for them to be able to get the skill sets on their current jobs, so that they can have upward mobility. For those who are in a space who thinking, you know what, maybe I want to learn a little bit more about AC, for instance, or electrical or plumbing or some other area that could lead to, another lucrative opportunity.
And one of the good things about all of our programs now, Sterling, is that those who are doing a program that's over a year, it's 9 months to a year in duration, that they're all internationally aligned to international certification.
Right,
I think having the experience of their SMB project, which was a success of seeing over 50 Caymanians being trained, we were able to take those successes and convert them into our normal programming, and hence those courses and others are now aligned to international certification. So persons leave dual certified. They not only leave with the UCCI certificate completion, but they'll leave with the international benchmark, whether it's CompTIA, whether it's City and Guilds, whether it's NCCR, they're all aligned to an international benchmark accreditation.
Obviously, that should be evident to most people, but if they are transferring elsewhere on secondment or relocating, but even their current employer will look at this and say, okay, this is something that is real, it has purpose, it is not just you just picked up off a crackerjack box, so to speak. And that's a testament to you and your team in trying to make sure that the courses are not just what is needed for the sector and prospective employees and entrepreneurs, but is what is recognized internationally, so that we have a meaningful benchmark.
Yes.
For tomorrow, I can see high school graduates. I can see people who are employed or underemployed, or who may be looking for something that they always had an interest. So as they come through, is it like a booth-like setting? They come in and there's what is the room set up like?
So it's going to be initially it's going to set up in kind of like a theater setting. So it's going to be an informational session. So they'll hear from the registrar what are some of the things to do when they want to register, because we've moved most of our processes to online, and very often people find it difficult to do that, and so just getting a bit more of how to go about making the applications online, because we've moved away from the physical paper based. We'll hear from our new provost, Dr. Livingston Smith, the president, and the student director on that, so that they understand what are some of the services available to them as students, some of the opportunities that are available to them as students. So that will be for the first half hour. Then I will take them through the myriad of programs to give them an overview of what those programs are like, so that they are sure if this is the program they really want to do. Because sometimes you have persons say, well, I want to do basic English, but then realize I need to do ESOL first before I move on to, I want to do QuickBooks, but hey, I've never done accounts, so maybe let me start with accounts. So that general overview of what the programs are like. And then for the final hour, they will meet the specific instructors to hear more from them. What do they go through? What do they teach them? What is involved in the program? Get an understanding of the cost related to it. Answer questions as to how can I get certified? What is available? What is not available? So it's going to be a very interactive. It'll be a breakout session where they will then speak to, because we have quite a number of, as you said earlier, persons want to upskill, and we've had a number of persons walk in and says, you know what, I've been doing AC for the last 2 years. Can I start at level 2? And so that is an opportunity for them to come. Let's hear what you've really done, and we map it against the expectations of level 2. And if they can prove themselves ready at level 2, then we start them at level 2. If they've proven that I've had 15 years in the industry, maybe I'm ready at level 3. And so that conversation is allowing them to determine at what point they can start or continue their journey, and for us to help them to make that final decision.
Well, I think this is useful and very timely, and as people look at it, there's an expectation of their time commitment. How many hours a week in class, what does that look like in relation to their jobs, what it will mean for them at the end of the time.
Yeah, you're so correct. And that's also an opportunity to discuss, the days of the week that the course will be held, because people need to plan ahead. And so this session will help them to, if this course is on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, they need to put in that time with their employer, or seek that permission from the employer for Mondays and Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that they know it is a continuum for the entire year. And what we try to do is, once we've agreed on a specific time, we keep that for the entire year, so that the person doesn't have to go back and ask for a different day, because, the employers are balancing, they're planning, and we want to really be a partner and not to be a hindrance to the education of the people.
The process is to assist both in our, upskilling them. Dean Paul, when we come back, let's talk about it and potentially speak to, I like the idea you talk about, the professional and technical. And many people, in my view, simple, humble view, we look at technical and vocational, but we don't see the professionalism, the acumen, the intellect, the ability, the thing that, to me, we ascribe labels sometimes, and we do disparagingly so without realizing that we are. But there's a professional component to it, right? So we'll focus on that when we come back. We'll remind people that it's tomorrow evening, UCCI, 6 p.m. You're employed, underemployed, or unemployed. This might be for you. Stay tuned, please. Join us after the break.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's super-fast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities. Available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's super-fast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Caden Green, and Ryan Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour, Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for that. And thanks too to Dean Paul Parkering from UCCI. As we talk about, as you said, professional and technical education, that training and that skill set. Mm-hmm. And many of us, I think, we see whether it's mechanical, electrical, plumbing, we see those things, and we understand that is a strong skill set required. Mm-hmm. In my mind, you got to be really, really smart to be able to put on an engine, put it back together, wire up a house. And a fool can read a book, right? It's got to be good to wire a house. But no, I just say that it's a strong skill set that's required.
Yes, and you make a very good point, because very often people minimize when it comes to skills and that thinking that there's not a professionalization or ism that is required of it. But if you are going to, not everyone will go to any and every electrician to do their home. Right. You go out, you want to know how long has this person been doing it? Are they certified? Are they, a licensed electrician? Is this technician knows what he's doing? And so part of the process, people expect you to be functioning in a level that's professionalized. And so that is one of the aims of the UCCI's Professional Technical Division, that whatever programs we put out, that they are linked to internationally benchmark standards. For example, our students, all of our level 1 students, not only do the craft, but they also must go through what is called the core of construction basics. So they need to understand safety, the importance of why you do. They need to understand how to use basic hand tools and power tools, how to do basic calculations, because if they're going to do estimates for someone in the future as a technician, then they need to understand how to make those calculations. And so part of the NCCR, which is the international body, expects them to come with those basic knowledge and skills before they can move on to level 2. At City and Guilds, it is expected as well. And it is not only our expectation for Grand Cayman. We, as you know, we have a campus in Cayman Brac. And so part of our thrust as well is to ensure that persons in Cayman Brac have that opportunity to upskill themselves, they may not reach the level because of lack of resources that may be in Grand Cayman, like what exists in Grand Cayman. But we want to ensure that they have the opportunity to pursue such professional development.
And as I listen to you, I'm thinking from not just development, population growth and skill sets in society, but if your society, there are not enough auto mechanics or plumbers or doctors or whatever that thing is, that resource has to be obtained elsewhere. If your people have access to the training and education, they take it up, they see it's not just rewarding financially, but it benefits. But the electrician, if we can go back to that, we don't just want a person that can come in, put the wires together, terminate at a circuit, and it's safe. We want them to know maybe, well, what if we do this? What if we did it that way? There's a safety component, but it's more than just, twisting a wire and turning it on, right?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. And so part of the training, for example, in Cayman, we are using the national, what you call the NSC code 2014/2017. But the students are trained on the 2020 and will be soon introduced the 2023 code. So they are getting that advanced training so that if they moved on from Cayman Islands to apply their trade elsewhere across the region, that they are familiar with the changing trends and responsibilities within the trade.
And possibly, if they understand the international code, this is for the NEC, for electrical in particular, and they may be able to look at the Cayman dynamic, and as simple as it may seem to me, my saying, if they require this type of outlet this far apart, in the Cayman context, there might be an opportunity to say to your policymakers, hey, I know this is the international thing, but this is what we are seeing in Cayman, this is what we maybe should do, amend or introduce.
Yes.
Having that skill set goes beyond again than just, pulling two wires and terminating it at the panel box, right? Your training gives that skill set.
Yes, and as I said, we currently offer levels 1 to 2 in electrical, and we are aiming to introduce level 3 come September. And so that's why we're having the open session to expose those persons who would have completed levels 1 and 2 to what is involved in level 3. Have you continued practicing your craft, and are you at that stage where you want to pursue it?
Now, the academic and the other sort of setting that UCCI would provide for prospective students, plumbing and electrical, and my understanding is that even though you have this, there's a licensing component, an exam. We see it advertised all the time, the government, the next exam for plumbers and electricians. So this would prepare them to be able to sit those exams and get the requisite licensing?
It gives them the background knowledge and competencies, but we also run the licensing preparation exam. There is a short course that we run under the continuing education, preparing them specifically for that exam, because it's an open book exam. It has specific criteria. And so they must have been in the field for a specific number of years practicing, and demonstrating their competence before they are eligible. They must be Caymanian as well. That's one of the strict requirements of the to take the exam. Anyone can take it, but not anyone can become licensed unless they're Caymanian. It is not as rigid for the plumber or the person doing HVAC, but certainly for those doing electrical installation, they must be Caymanian if they are going to take that licensing exam.
And again, increasingly understanding what that looks like, why it is, I think these sessions, for that prospective individual, can find the process so that end of the day, whether it's a budding entrepreneur, or there's an employee who is in the field now and wants to move up the ladder with that entity, this is the opportunity.
The other thing that comes to mind when you talk about professionalization, over a year ago, we partnered with Otis Air. And as you may be familiar, Otis Air, their main core is HVAC. But what they recognized, and they came to us and said, we know you have these modules in electrical installation, and we want to upskill our staff. Can you do a specialized training for them in those areas? And they selected the units that they thought were of merit to their staff. And so we put together that training and we ran it over a 6-month period. And so their staff became upskilled with competencies in electrical to complement their strong HVAC skills that they have. And so that's another thing that we're open to working with the public and different businesses to do specific training courses that they may want that will help to upskill their staff or for the benefit. And so we do things like time management. Like I said, we're doing content development for social media, event production, and a whole host of other things like bread making, cake icing and decorating. Those are the normal
fun things.
Yes.
Now, you reference the short courses. 2 questions as you expound on them. But the short courses, is that like September to December?
Yes.
Is it 6 weeks? I mean, what are short courses?
So short courses for us could run into 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or even 14 weeks. Yeah, it depends on the content that is going to deliver, but they will start in September and end in December.
Right.
And so the maximum will be 12 to 14 weeks. We may have one that runs for 4 weeks or for 8 weeks. In September, we are going to be launch what we call the Weekend Academy Initiative, whereby we can run even more compact course. Let's say your business wanted us to train persons over a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, that they come in for 2 days and they're trained over a 2 or 3 week period, and that is completed as opposed to spreading it over a 14-week period.
So specific courses maybe in some sort of accounting software.
Yes.
Or it may be a particular thing, say in the hospitality sector that they want.
Yes.
Again, utilizing the resources that they're giving employers but also employees, that skill set to make them more competitive. Weekend Academy.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes, Weekend Academy. It's coming from September as well. To provide opportunity for those who are not able to, because some persons are not able to study in the week.
Yeah.
You know, they may be tired, especially those in the construction field. You know, they work all week, and then when it comes to Saturday and Sunday, that may be the more available time for them. And so we are trying to be flexible. That's how we ran the project management for construction supervision. Initially, it was to be run in the week, but then most participants said, you know what, a Saturday will be better for us. Just do it 3 hours and let's get it out of the way. And so we ran it that way. And our first cohort, which is about to graduate of about 14 persons, is about to complete that one.
Again, you know, you cater in and tailor it to that prospective, you know, beneficiary. But from that perspective, as I listen to you too, maybe somewhat from the mental perspective,
Yes.
we can go on a Saturday and Sunday for the year,
Yes.
as opposed to 3 or 4 times a week.
Yes.
Just mentally we're
Yes.
thinking, oh man, you know, I got to do this every week, without realizing that you know, a full day of an intensive over 14 weeks
Yes.
is equivalent to maybe 3 to 4 times for the week for an outreach, right?
Yes.
All right. Smart moves. I think we have the quickly break again, Dean Paul. When we come back, maybe remind us. It's tomorrow evening you shared, 6 p.m. What we need to do, whether it's any particular requirements of us. Just give us a preview, give us a reminder.
Sure.
And hopefully the 75 will be doubled and we have 5,000 maybe. I don't know. All right. When we come back, we will invite you to rejoin us. Stay tuned.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Speed into Dream Carnival with Digicel, Cayman's #1 5G network. Win day-wear packages and aftermath tickets by activating a 10-day Prime Pro bundle or paying your bill on time. Don't miss out on these epic events. Go to your nearest Digicel store today or activate a plan in the My Digicel app for your chance to start fetting today. Digicel, better connected.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Our climate is changing, and so is Cayman. Stronger and more frequent hurricanes, longer periods of drought, sea level rise, and higher temperatures are already impacting our communities. If we take nature into account before we act, we can harness nature's benefits and reduce the devastation caused by natural disasters. Because when we put nature front and center, nature can provide the solutions.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to Dean Paul Parker at UCCI for sharing with us and extended that invitation. You said 6 p.m. tomorrow evening over at UCCI?
Yes, sir. So it's open to all persons who have an interest in upskilling themselves, who want to continue their education in a skills-related area, who want to start, employers who may have their employees who they want to upskill. Send them along tomorrow so that they can hear what are the different options available to them, how we can help them to help you to be improved in their training. Starts at 6 p.m. It's in the hall. There's an opportunity to hear about the different scholarship opportunities that may be available through the Ministry of Education, through the Department of Tourism and Ports, Cayman's Consolidated Water, through the Massive Group, and Polar Bear are just a few who have come forward. And I really want to posit our thanks to them at this stage for just being good corporate citizens and working with us to help in the professionalization of the skills. And we're actively in discussion with Rotary as well, who's very keen on working with us and who's been a partner with us for many years, but they want to do something bigger. So we look forward that once that comes to fruition to making a public announcement on that front. One of the areas, though, that I think we would welcome some greater support moving forward is that of student internships and apprenticeships, because as you know, we can only give the students so much theory and practice in the field, but we need them to be able to go in to the field and be able to practice and learn and that's one of the areas where we've found challenges. I'm not sure why it is created. In some instances, we've had pushback because students are too young. They say that they're between 16 to 18, and so it creates more of a liability. But I'm not sure.
Any excuse is better than none, right?
How we can get around that. But we welcome any ideas that will help us to make those opportunities available to young Cayman, because that's the only way that they'll be able to prove themselves, demonstrate that they have the competencies in order to be able to integrate. But if they're not able to function because of their being too young, then it hinders them. It also probably drives a deterrent for those who may have a passion for it, but then told we can't have you because you're too young.
I guess in a sense, I'm really grateful that you referenced that, and despite the sensitivity, it shouldn't, but it is seemingly. Commend those employers who are willing to do that. Given that student this introduction may help that employer with a future employee. That student recognizing, this is a career path I like, or immediately, you know what, I do like accounting. I don't necessarily want in this, or I'm not into law. I think I want to end up in this area. But if we don't give that child that chance, how is that person able to now really come into her own?
And so that's one of the areas that we are open and welcome the support of our corporate citizens or key stakeholders in terms of helping us to professionalize those young adults, young Caymanians in their field through internship and apprenticeship opportunities, by giving them the opportunity to learn, to see whether or not is this the career path that I need to go, and so that would help us a significant long way. So feel free to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to discuss, what would we need to do to make it happen, and how can we work closer to make it a more fruitful experience.
Well, I'm very happy, to know, as you shared, there are many of the corporate entities that are willing to provide those opportunities. Liability may be an easy avenue to exclude some, but it was not long ago when we were less than 16 and we had decent jobs that led us into a career path that we still find to be most engaging and rewarding. But like anything, if you don't use that skill set, you won't be able to improve it. If you are in the classroom seeing the technical and theoretical, it's not the same until you have your hands on, right? So hopefully they'll heed your invitation and extend a very, very, welcoming invite so our students can get those internships.
We look forward to it. I must say, though, outside of that, I must say that over the last 2 years, the support and embracement from all aspects of the corporate has been very supportive. I think that's the next step that we look forward to seeing being strengthened, the internship and apprenticeship component. But again, finally, tomorrow at 6 p.m., we invite all of Cayman who are in the workforce, who are looking to upskill themselves, who are looking for a new career pathway, who want to determine how to professionalize yourself in a short course or a year-long course, whether full-time or part-time. Come out and have a chat with us tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the hall, and you'll walk away feeling like, when do I sign up?
Yeah, this is it. And perhaps you guide me in this, Dean Paul, but I was thinking either to that student who is, finishing sort of that formal instruction in high school now, who's unsure. Am I going to go into this area, that area, who may have an interest? Come along tomorrow. If it's a year-long program, if it's 2 years, you're now 16, 17, this might be something that gives you another base on which to launch. So 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
and
tomorrow.
The UCCI Hall.
UCCI Hall. So all parents, all teachers, all community leaders, if you have that young person out there, that employee that you think would benefit from such training, they've been talking about it, but they're not sure what next to do. Tomorrow is the time that they can come, because then in July, that's when they can begin to register and make their final decision about what program they will do.
And you referenced that there are already 75 people who have registered. Maybe each one of them says to a colleague or co-worker, perhaps a sibling, even a partner, hey, come along, companionship, but come along for perhaps...
And it's absolutely free. They don't have to pay for anything. The information is free. We'll provide refreshments as well. So, it's absolutely free. It's not that they have to pay for the information. It's absolutely free information so that you are guided in the best way possible on what next for you.
So we get information on HVAC, electrical,
construction technology, solar photovoltaic, anything to do with a short course that you are thinking about or want to do. If you want to upskill your language in Spanish or English as a second language, or even if you want to sharpen yourself in business writing, we also offer that course as well. How to sharpen yourself, how to write those business communications most effectively for the workplace.
I think we all should do that. It's in this world of tech speak. Well, Dean Paul, we're always grateful to have that continued partnership with UCCI. Thanks, to our colleague Ray for helping us to schedule these. So maybe this, will lead to others recognizing the offer that UCCI has on the table. But enjoy the rest of your week. If you can, like me, try to keep your hair dry. It's been a challenge this week. There's so much rain.
Thank you so much again. Once again, on behalf of the president and the entire team, our Vice President Dr. Livingston, thank you for having us and for making this. And a special shout out to Ms. Stamson, who's been working with you consistently in marketing, and her team to really make sure that we get these opportunities to promote what we offer at the UCCI.
Thank you. 6 p.m. tomorrow at UCCI, and I'm hoping for a great report that many have attended, but also have decided to sign up. We'll talk to you again very soon. All right.
Thank you.
All right. I'll get a pause. Get the news at 1. Come back, our friends. CEC looking forward to have Ms. Manderson in the studio and share with us with some things that they have on store. And then 1:30, Robotics. I don't know if AI is going to be employed for the next talk show host. It may be for the next... you know what? Let me be careful. I may just have too much fun today. That's what we got planned. You want to find out more? So join us after the break.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Yesterday,
today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Public Service Pension Board warns that pensioners who have not submitted their 2024 Pension Continuation Confirmation Certificate by July 10th will face suspended payments. The Act requires annual submission to maintain pension disbursements. Currently, 600 out of 2,600 pensioners are not compliant. Pension Board CEO Ms. Jewel Evans Lindsay urges prompt action to prevent income disruption for retirees, especially amid economic challenges. The PSPB offers assistance for those struggling with the process, and completed PCC forms ensure continued payments and prevent fraud. Pensioners can have their PCC forms witnessed by authorized officials or visit PSPB offices for help. For more information, pensioners can contact the PSPB at 945-8175. In regional news, Andrew Fahey, the former Premier of the British Virgin Islands, is facing sentencing for his involvement in a cocaine smuggling plot. His lawyers are seeking a 10-year jail term, arguing that Fahey had a minor role and was unaware of certain aspects of the scheme. Sentencing has been delayed multiple times, with the latest request pushing it from June 25th to August 5th due to scheduling conflict. St. Lucia is set to introduce a prepaid electricity system in August, joining other CARICOM nations. The initiative will allow users to top up their electricity credit via phone, enabling better management and usage and costs. The prepaid method is already in use in Dominica and Jamaica, where users can purchase power as needed and receive alerts when their balance is low. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Urgent Care Clinic is now open 7 days per week to serve you better. Visit our dedicated team at Urgent Care Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and weekends and public holidays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you are experiencing non-life-threatening symptoms and conditions such as the cold and flu, sprains and cuts, earaches, nausea and vomiting, visit Urgent Care's walk-in clinic at the main entrance of the Georgetown Hospital, now open every day. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott was a quiet-natured child who liked going on the bluff with his grandfather Oscar Brown, swimming every Saturday evening and playing cricket down where Miss Alamay's house sits now. He was very studious at Creek Elementary School and did very well under the tutelage of his favorite teacher, Miss Isley Connolly in BE. Following the tragic death of his father at sea, at age 14 he left school to work with Arnold Foster to support his family. In 1953 he joined his first ship, the Beretta, a local cargo vessel, signing on as deck boy, working his way up to boatswain. From 1953 until 2006, some 52 years, Captain Scott made his living working off the seas.
This is Eliane Powery, Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2023. I am concerned that our beloved islands are at a high risk of losing plants and animals that are only found here. Warmer temperatures, drought, and other changes are harming our unique species and the habitats they depend on. Losing biodiversity means losing the benefits that nature provides, like clean air and water. To learn more about the climate risk to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us, and to Miss Alyssa Mandis and you and the team over at Cayman Enterprise City and Enterprise Cayman. Always a pleasure to have you on, share with us the things that are happening, not just within the zone and for as partners and clientele, but for the wider community when there are events that we can, hey, what's going on? How does it affect us?
Yes.
How can we get into that space?
Yes, thanks for having us back.
Always a pleasure. Welcome. And through you, the notion that seemingly just the events that you guys put on the calendar, I lost count, but it would, on an average basis, almost one a week, 2 a week, 10 a week?
I would say 2 a week. Yeah.
It's a lot.
There's something going on every week.
Every
Absolutely.
week. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's something that not only benefits your clientele,
right,
but it truly, spills over into the wider community.
It definitely does. So a lot of our events are aimed at the local community. We're wanting to get them engaged in some knowledge sharing and some knowledge exchange when it comes to the tech and innovation space, which is a growing and very prevalent topic these days.
Indeed, and it's not just here. It's not just in emerging economies. It's in those very established economies who are impacted by innovations. With that, I think I'm eagerly excited to welcome Mr. Rudolph Johnson to the table. Through you, Mr. Alyssa, you want to do the intro, or you want me to ask Mr. Johnson to, very, very ably and eloquently, introduce himself? What should we do? That's me.
So what I'll do first is I will introduce our Cyber Sandbox initiative.
Okay, well, can go structure it. Yeah.
So our Cyber Sandbox initiative that we've created to offer the community a platform that encourages knowledge sharing and knowledge exchange in the tech and innovation space, like I've mentioned. So we're essentially offering a platform for individuals within the tech and innovation community to present on various topics of their choice with tech and innovation. And then we're also giving individuals an opportunity to share their new products and services, like Mr. Rudy here. So he'll speak to you a bit more about his upcoming event on the 26th. Yep.
Welcome, Mr. Johnson.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. So, as said, my name is Rudolph Johnson. My company is Meta Agile, and it's located in Cayman Enterprise City, currently at Signal House, their new facility. The event that I will be, event/workshop that I'll be having on the 26th is called Systematic Innovation and Entrepreneurial Strategies. And what it is, it's a event/workshop where individuals learn about entrepreneurship and particularly about innovation, what it is not, and how to achieve it.
And as I listen to you, I can see business courses in universities. I can see professional continuing courses. But just the idea that you're talking about being agile in a sense. We have to be able in our lives, but also in our businesses.
Yeah, the world is fast moving. My primary, Meta Agile's primary offering is agile transformations. And this is what I do for Fortune 1000 companies, because what you find is large companies lack the ability to be agile because they're large and, the saying is lumbering, slow moving. And my job is to transform them into quicker moving companies so they can kind of function as smaller, more nimble companies so that they can actually compete in a fast-moving marketplace. So that's what I do as a consultancy. And then I also do the other end, which is startups, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, and that's why I specialize in systematic innovation and entrepreneurial strategies.
Right. I want to ask, specifically to define systematic innovation, but as you were sharing that, we think of governments and bureaucracy and that sort of laborious, tedious, time-consuming thing that never gets anywhere. But in organizations, they may not call it bureaucracy, there may be policy, but there's something that hinders, hampers, somehow delays innovation, transformation, getting to the market, right?
All the time, and what you find is companies similar to governments, they're focused on themselves. A true entrepreneur or true innovator focuses always on the marketplace and the customer. Until that happens, you're really not innovating.
Okay.
You're just kind of like believing you're innovating.
So systematic innovation, I mean, it almost sounds as if the answer is in its name, but what is it?
Well, systematic innovation is the process of locating and recognizing opportunities in the marketplace. There's a systematic way of doing that. And entrepreneurs, if you call yourself an entrepreneur, you have to be able to innovate. Always have the customer at the focus, and you have to understand when there's opportunities to be had in the marketplace to give the customer new value. So what you're looking for is new opportunities to deliver new value. If you're an entrepreneur, that's what you do.
There is this, or was, a school thought that as an entrepreneur, you were creative, you were nimble, you were getting things done, but then you lacked the, how we would say, not even the wherewithal, but the patience to pay attention to the detail. That was somebody else. You came with an idea, then another idea, and you were moving and moving and moving, but it never really translated into any success. Because is that too much of an overgeneralization?
No, it's not. It's actually pretty accurate. That's why entrepreneurs don't necessarily have to run the business.
All right.
They have to be ones that find the opportunities, create the new value, and they can have someone else run the business. They can have a partner run the business. They can sell the idea to someone else. But people who run businesses don't have time to look for opportunities.
Okay.
And entrepreneurs who look for opportunities may not have time to run the business.
Right. They're there. I mean, Mr. Lissa, jump in if you ever
No,
want.
no, I'm intrigued by what he's sharing as well.
So am I. And this is where, when we talk of, the classroom setting and what it takes to be an entrepreneur, you get these things and you're going, yeah, I got an idea. But to make the idea come to fruition, making sure that someone is keeping the balls in the air as you move in. Not unlike that, what was that term we used to have long ago? The rainmaker in the business development officer, bringing the business in, out hunting new clientele. Somebody needs to be doing the paperwork, needs to make sure that you're on board. Those are the words these days
Bills
we
are paid.
All the nice words, but it means something, and then it could potentially, Mr. Johnson, if I hear you, lead to that slowed process. That in governments would be bureaucracy, but maybe policy as a result of legislation in private sector.
Now, what you're explaining is how large companies and governments and entrepreneurs and small companies have the exact opposite problem. Large companies and governments have the bureaucracy. They can do all the details. They just don't know how to be innovative and find opportunities.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs can find opportunities, right? They know how to do that, know how to be nimble. They just know how to run a business in the way that a large company can. So my approach to both are different.
Yeah.
One is I have to make you more nimble and more innovative for the large companies and governments. And for the small ones is, hey, I'm going to harness your ability to do that, but you have to understand your limitations. You may not be the type of individual that can run a company, so you need a partner, or you need to be sell that idea to someone that can run it, and you go out and find the next opportunity.
All right. So with that now, we attend the workshop. Some of the takeaways, what would we learn from attendance?
I mean, the key thing you'll learn is what an entrepreneur actually is. So it's different from just a businessman or a small business person. You learn what innovation actually is, and today, what people think innovation is really isn't true innovation. But we'll explain why it is, what true innovation is, and then people go out more educated on what innovation is and what innovation is not.
Now, interestingly, I joke just going into the news break that AI is going to take over, and you have a talk show host who may be in AI. And there are those who are willing to embrace it and those who are fearful, and AI seems to be the buzzword and everybody. I don't know. I mean, AI, and you have a simulator.
Yeah, so I call it Innovator AI Simulator. And what it does, it simulates conditions in which an individual can utilize to see how their innovation skills and abilities can actually play out in a simulated environment. So it doesn't do it for you, but it does. It creates scenarios in which that respond to your actions on how good your abilities, how good your insights actually are.
Not that I'm a pilot. I didn't even play one on TV. But you say simulator and those things come to mind.
Yeah.
So kind of similar?
Well, in this one, it's really a computer agent-based model that uses agent-based modeling and artificial intelligence to create scenarios. Like scenarios will include macroeconomic conditions, marketplaces with customers with changing tastes, competing competition, all these things that you're going to actually deal with in real life, where we simulate that and see how you can respond to such things.
So as you have these various, inputs, and there are many variables as you shared. If you're talking about a macro environment, a geopolitical landscape in one market could affect how the consumers are able to access a product.
The primary thing we do now is we have how central banks affect the economic environments. So we're able to change in this simulator the interest rates central banks give out, and how it affects ripples through the economy, and then ripples through your marketplace. And then how do you respond to that? How do your customers respond? How do you respond to your customers?
How do you account for the time lag? I'm thinking of a quantitative easing sort of approach. Is it 6 months? Do you have a year? Is it an election cycle? Do you have a particular entity?
In this simulator, it depends on what speed I run it at, but you could say it's about a 6 months to a year time lag. So that means if interest rates go up, the person dealing with the simulator will say, in another 6 months, I know that the market conditions are going to change, so maybe I should do something.
And then I guess depending on the entity is in this part of the world versus that part of the world, we may see, as an example, and I'm not an expert, is it the US and the UK thinking of what it's going to do relative to interest rates as an example, but we see other entities in the EU already bringing that to fruition where interest rates will go down, just as one. So the cost of capital and your product launch, you can factor that in.
Yes.
Listen, I think there's going to be a test. I was taking notes. Now, for you, I mean, if the wider public is listening and this is an event coming up, was it 26th of June?
26th of June.
People go, well, that's economics, man. I did that in school. I don't want to hear anything about that. But it's not. It's more than that.
Absolutely.
As it is.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Who do you think, and I'll ask Mr. Johnson as well, but from your perspective, who do you think should attend? The student, that budding entrepreneur, that person who thinks
definitely the budding entrepreneur. I think we have a lot of individuals within the community with great ideas that are interested in opening their own business. So I definitely think that this would be a great starting point for them to come out, get some more knowledge, and meet Rudolph. He's a great connection to have as well in that area. So I definitely think it's something that everyone should come out.
Mr. Johnson, if I may ask,
sir,
we tend to be in the Cayman space, specifically those who have always been here, probably not as cognizant that the impact that the world has on the Cayman economy, but also how we could benefit and be impacted by the world economy.
Right.
We feel like we're on an island, literally and figuratively. How do we get them to understand that we're not just a dot on the map? We play an important role in global finance. We are accessing global markets. If only we understood that.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. Two things. I like to tell people, the storm is coming. The question is, are you prepared? So the simulation helps you prepare for potential storms, and you can simulate whatever storm you want. And the storm, I mean, is economically, because it's going to affect everybody. All right, so having that knowledge allows you to have more confidence. And so if something's happening, if I wasn't aware, I'm aware now. I have some ideas of how I might be able to respond to such things, because these things will affect me. Also, Cayman Island Marketplace is maybe 70,000, 75,000 strong. I might want to go beyond that. What is it like out there? Well, you don't have to always just travel, but you can visualize, and the simulate probably help you visualize, actually.
And your marketplace isn't just the physical bodies here.
That's right.
What is, companies in the sort of the financial arena benefit from the infrastructure, the legislation, the competencies of the professionals we have here? You could leverage that.
Correct.
And your market now is, was it 5 billion people in the world now after COVID? I mean, I'm sure it has.
Everybody goes online, so your marketplace is the world, right?
Right.
So be aware of the things that affect your business, right?
Wow, Mr. Liz, I think we have a business idea.
Yeah.
What do you think? But that idea of monetizing this thought that you had as an entrepreneur,
Right.
It's not just about a widget. It could be an intangible.
It could be an idea.
An idea.
And that's what true innovation is not about the thing. It's
Yeah.
about the value of the thing.
Yeah.
It could be an idea. It could be a widget. It can be a service.
Mhm.
And there's plenty of ideas that change the world. One example would be when mail was original, the person who paid for it was the receiver. Someone came up with the idea, but I want the sender pay. Okay, well, we'll try that. When they tried that, modern mail systems were born.
Yeah.
Everybody can receive mail, not just the elite that can afford to pay for it. That was just an idea. Switch it from the receiver to the sender. So those things can actually, ideas can change. So it doesn't have to be someone, in a computer lab coming up with the next great thing. You don't have to have any computer skills at all to be an innovator.
The idea.
It's the idea.
I mean,
The idea and the value of the idea to the marketplace.
But protecting that idea, monetizing it, benefiting from it.
Yeah.
Immediately, Mr. Liz, as Mr. Johnson shared, I was thinking, calling part of pays with cell phones. Remember, you had a cell phone, you guarded the number because you paid to receive the call. Once that was reversed, hey, give me a call when you can.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted, right?
There you go.
Very similar.
Exactly. And it was just an idea, but
Just
an
a-
idea that was valuable
Uh-huh.
to the market at large. And that's how, obviously, you get compensated because people find it valuable.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, John Lennon's song, Imagine, And in that, what was the song, Miss Susan, you played earlier today, the Calypso song, in a world where, the man, he's going to give birth and he says to his woman. Those two songs draw strong parallels, right? And it speaks to more than just a consciousness, but it could be that entrepreneurial spirit. Just imagine being willing to be creative.
Be able to, the old cliche, think outside the box. It's a cliche, but it has its applications because you can look at something and go, well, it's for that. But it can be used in different scenarios if you can imagine it in different scenarios and be valuable in that new scenario.
I don't even bother to imagine a box anymore. It got me in trouble in school because literally I colored outside the lines. There were no lines. Yeah. Why does it have to be this way?
The schools don't necessarily produce the best innovators.
No, you tell me. But I'm hoping, and through you, Miss Alyssa, for this event, how can we attend? Where is it? Remind us. Is there a fee? I mean, all
There's
these things.
no fee associated with our Cyber Sandbox initiative. If it's free for individuals to come to reach out if they'd like to present. It's free for individuals to attend any of the sessions. So the next session, Rudolph session, is next Wednesday, the 26th of June at 5:30 p.m. And that is at the new CEC Signal House, which is off of Fairbanks Road.
Nicely paved road, too.
Nicely, freshly paved road.
So
individuals can RSVP to the event by visiting enterprisecayman.ky/cyber sandbox. And they can also follow us on social media to get a reminder as well.
See, in my day when you follow somebody, you could get in trouble. Nowadays, you're encouraged to follow.
Absolutely.
Just being funny.
Yes.
But even the terminology of how we utilize things, I think 3 times, I lost count. I used the word monetize.
Yeah.
Because that's a new word for me in my mindset. We don't do that. We do things freely. Oh, let me help you with this.
Right.
Well, that's a service. That's a thing that you're doing that is an intangible but could be very lucrative.
Yeah.
People do it and they call it brokering, consulting.
Yes.
Well, we can leverage it, right? Another word.
Yeah. I mean, the key to innovation is it must be valuable to the end user. If it's valuable enough, they'll pay you.
Yeah.
So monetization is built right in.
And as you're talking about, entrepreneurial, sort of strategies and the like, sometimes we don't even know our value. We don't know how important this thing is because, well, it's a widget. I can sell you this widget for a lot more than it's worth because you have it. Are you able to sell this service?
Yeah, it's the key.
Huh.
It's the key. If you have something that's not good in one market, doesn't mean it's not good. It's just not good in that market. Go to another market. You might have a windfall in the next market. So understand that value is not in the thing. Value is in the end user. One end user doesn't find it valuable. Another end user might, and you need to find that end user and see if it's valuable.
But timing as well, right?
Timing is critically important. That's why in innovation, you have to look for these opportunities, and these opportunities don't last forever. So the timing is important.
Mr. Johnson, as we were speaking to you, referenced earlier, sometimes we don't have to have the computer literacy.
Right.
In this day and age, everybody thinks, well, you got to know about computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for some people listening, go, but surely you need to know. But as an entrepreneur, you just need to have the idea, but you need to know who to connect with to be able to get that thing, that idea to where it needs to be so that...
Yeah, the way I instruct on innovation is I believe most people put the cart before the horse. Come up with the idea
Sorry,
first.
governments... Sorry, I'm just kidding, guys. Good to smile.
Not naming any suspects. But,
Okay.
People come up with the idea first. So what I teach is you don't come up with the idea first.
Yeah.
You find the opportunity first. Systematic innovation is locating and recognizing opportunities.
Mhm.
Then you fit the idea, or even you start generating idea based on the opportunity. That way you know it's a good fit. If you come to the idea first, now you have to search around forever and see anybody who wants this. Find out what they want first. And there's a way to find that out without going from person to person for the rest of your life, asking them questions, which they might not tell you the right answer anyway.
Right.
So there's a way of finding those opportunities in the marketplace, and that's the systematic innovation. Then you come up with the idea, service, or product that fits said opportunity.
Kind of panning for gold. Necessity is the mother of invention. You find this thing that is missing, that's needed. How do you get?
And it's a systematic approach, and that's systematic innovation. If you know that approach, people think, "How did you do that? How did you know that?" It's systematic. It's not guessing. I don't go to church and pray on Sunday. There's a way that you approach it, and it works every time.
Strategic, calculating.
Exactly. Strategy is
Deliberate.
Deliberate.
Conscious.
Yes. There's certain steps that you take,
Yeah.
certain things that you look for, and if you find it, that's evidence. There's an innovative opportunity here. Then I go to work.
All right. Back in the days, we would read the books about prospecting for gold. The person just didn't jump in a body of water.
No.
Is there a gold mine close by? Was there a possible find? Not unlike the exploration for oil. They may go far afield, but what are the probabilities?
Exactly.
So that's the same thing you're talking about.
Exactly. The more evidence, the higher the probability,
Yeah.
the more likely success will follow.
All right, I'm going to share that problem many listening will go, but that goes counter to the idea that an innovator, an entrepreneur, has to be creative. You have to come up with something. You're saying there's a scientific, logical, analytical, rational approach.
Exactly. And I'll say something about being creative. My first career was as an artist. I am an artist. I was a portrait artist.
Okay.
People would pay me to draw them. And so I'm very creative. But there's a term called starving artists. And there's a reason for that. Nobody cares about creativity. They only care about what you can do for them. So innovation is what you do for the individual, not how creative I am. The spotlight should never be on the creator. Look at me. Spotlight should always be on the customer.
Mm.
And you must know what they want. And you must be able to predict what they want in some cases. And systematic innovation helps you do that.
I can see many established businesses as well as budding entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
I can see students who are looking at it. And this is where I think in the Cayman marketplace, I won't say this to be offensive, but I don't say it with any intent to apologize. In the Cayman of today, we have some of the best resources, the best people from all walks of life.
Absolutely.
We just need to bring us together in a space. Now, I don't mind playing in the sand, but if you got a cyber sandbox, I don't have to get sand between my toes, right?
Yes. No need for that. Just come on out.
All right. So on the 26th.
Next week, Wednesday, June 26th, 5:30 p.m. at Signal House.
Okay. If we don't RSVP, or should we, what?
In RSVP, it's encouraged, but we are completely open to anybody just walking in as well.
It's a good time to see the space too. Thank you all for letting me see it. It is quite remarkable. I'm hoping that we'll recognize the importance of it. Mr. Johnson, I think you left me here thinking, I thought I knew some things, and now I feel validated that I knew them, but I'm more intrigued in that there's a scientific, logical, analytical approach to an entrepreneur. It's not this harebrained idea that you have.
Yeah, it's not the guy in the basement that light bulb goes off and I got this idea, and that's only in the movies.
That's only in the movies,
That's only in the movies.
And again, I appreciate that, because when we read about these things, we understand that the entrepreneur, that person who's in business, who wants to move it, has to be deliberate, very conscious, how to make a concerted effort.
Yes.
You just don't, You just don't throw your hands up and hope that it falls.
Yeah, hope you hit the target.
I know. I looking forward to maybe having future discussions. And one of the things is as we look at multiple currencies, and I think of Cayman in terms of the different skill sets, the different nationalities, the different access to different markets, how Cayman could be increasingly leveraged as a jurisdiction. And that in itself is a missed opportunity for the country.
I think so.
Yeah.
My goal, we have time. My goal, again, is to help Cayman be a leader in innovation. And it's reminiscent of my studies in history when small Japan took over the world.
Japanique.
I studied that intently as an extension of what I do for the Fortune 1000 companies. So no matter how small you are, if people have the ability, the people, not their technology, the people can change the world.
Right.
So just harness their abilities.
Well, from David against Goliath to Maradona and the Argentinian team, you can be small, right, but mighty. You just have to be consistent. You have to be willing to continue your efforts, huh?
Yeah, putting in that work.
Yeah.
Yes, putting in work.
Nothing good's come easy, man.
Sure.
Well, I am inspired. So next Wednesday, Miss Alyssa, 5:30 you say,
5:30.
right?
We do know that the traffic is a bit hectic now that we're on that side of the island. So we will have a little opportunity for individuals to come in a bit late, but please don't let that deter you from attending.
No, I attend, and it's a free resource.
Absolutely.
At least to us attending, you guys have facilitated.
And thank you to Mr. Rudolph for volunteering his time as well.
Thank you because time is that commodity that we don't seem to value how we,
One commodity you can never recover.
Yeah, my dad says no matter your wealth, but you can't buy a second.
Right.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure, Mr. Rudolph. And always, Miss Alyssa. In closing, anything finally you want to remind our listeners, Mom?
I would like to remind everyone that our Launch Labs incubator is open. Applications are open as of last week until the 31st of July. So we'll be back next month to speak more about that.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. And I'm hoping that, as I said, it's not just for educators, but for our parents to recognize as we tell our children about career opportunities, about a rewarding life, their traditional sort of trajectory in terms of accounting or law or whichever, they can lead them into spaces that they don't have to yet define. They can define their own.
There you go.
That entrepreneur spirit, huh?
There you go.
All right, well, may I invite you to enjoy the rest of your week.
You too.
As the rain falls, just look at it as a blessing from on high. And who knows, share the chocolate, right?
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, when we return, I'll welcome you to join us because we're going to be talking about robotics. I think there's a fella who used to come in here from your space, Mr. Alyssa. Actually, have you introduced him? Yeah. Well, you want to know who we're going to talk about? You have to join us after. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Just in time for summer, it's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Attention parents and guardians. Registration for Cayman Islands government schools for the 2024 to 2025 academic year closes on June 30th. By law, all children turning 5 by August 31st must be enrolled in an approved government, private, or homeschooling program. Don't miss out. Visit schools.edu.ky/registration to learn more and secure a spot for your child today. This message is brought to you from the Department of Education Services.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome and thanks for joining us. And we're very, very, very grateful for the opportunity to be able to focus on education. And you may see a theme. It wasn't initially curated like that, but it's part of the invitation for people to see how education not just edifies and informs, it equalizes, it provides opportunity, but how in the Cayman space you have access to so much that is unlike perhaps other places. With great sort of deference first to Miss Kendra. Ian, we say the older shall be. Let the elders speak. Welcome, Mr. Gilmore. How are you?
I'm well, man. How are you?
I am very, very, very grateful. And to our listeners, if we talk about robotics and 3-4 robotics, perhaps, Ms. Kendra, through you, let's pull that mic a little bit closer to you, have you do a proper intro. And I think good chap will join you. Miss Susan, you want him closer to me? I don't know. He doesn't want... Come on. Come across here, my friend. Stick your chair down. And come. Is that better? I know I wouldn't want to sit close to me either, boy, but that's okay. We'll get to you in a second. It's only for the listeners or cameras create that much more of a hassle for Susan having to navigate everything. Back in the days when radio was just radio. You heard but didn't see. Anyway, we'll get there.
It's multimodal.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I'm multi something for sure. Can you believe Miss Kendra? It's Tuesday already. But thank you for joining us, and thanks to Ian for connecting us so that we can see through you the opportunities that are not only for our students in sort of budding engineers, but the excitement, the enjoyment, but also the instruction and education that they can get that could provide them for, maybe not just employment, but entrepreneurial opportunities. So talk to us.
Well, my name is Kendra Okonski. I started 3-4-5 Robotics in 2019, actually. And this year we've just gotten our NPO status here in Cayman. And we're really grateful to one person in particular, Carlos de Serpa Pimentel at Appleby, for helping us to do that over the past few months to get that incorporation document, and then working with the General Registry to be able to get it. So we can now operate very formally. We had been basically just offering camps and lots of informal learning up to that point. We have a really amazing partnership with Acts of Random Kindness, the charity here. And so over the course of the past 2 years, we've been able to establish a relationship with 2 primary schools, government primary schools. So I guess what we're finding is there's a really big appetite for learning about these things that kids hear about all the time. They're very much digital natives. Yeah. However, that doesn't mean that they understand what's going on behind that technology, behind this phone or their tablet. So we find that robotics is a really good entry point for them to start exploring the world of technology, and starting to delve deeper and ask really important questions about how it works, but also what does it mean, what's our relationship to it, and how can it give us different aspects of things in our lives. So.
And to our listeners, I know Mr. Ian Gilmore, as you shared, thanks for reminding us, you have something else, but we continue the conversation after too. But if we could sort of pivot to you in a second, we look at robotics, and we may go back for those of us who are, much older than Ms. Kendra, for instance, and think of the assembly line, and here's the arm coming out from the piece of machine and taking up something and moving it across to now this little thing that is so small and is doing things in medicine. But as Kendra shared, the student is seeing this but not quite understanding how it's come to be, and how that student could one day be designing the things that require this thing to do what we're asking it to do, because we're not engaged. Help us to get that picture so that the student today.
I'm going to leave in at 2, unfortunately, because I have a hard stop. And then Brandon's going to take over because he showed. So we were at Georgetown Primary School.
Career Day?
Career Day?
At the end of
was
May?
it? I can't remember the life.
Careers Day. It was Careers Day.
It was Careers Day. So I was standing there helping to corral kids, which was like.
Herding cats.
It's a skill I'm trying to remember. I have muscle memory with young children. And then Brandon grabbed me and said, "Mr. Ian, come and see this." And he got this Lenovo laptop. And he'd loaded a language model onto it. And I was like, "Brandon, how did you do that?" Because, I work with these big servers. And this young man has been watching YouTube videos, and he's just basically hacked this language model onto this computer. I was like, I have no idea he did that. Yeah. And he's just worked this out. And this is the kind of skills that exist in this island. And this is what we need to celebrate and promote, this hands-on, fearless, if you like, pulling back the curtain and just playing with this stuff. And we had a fantastic conversation afterwards where I explained to him about containerization and middleware and all that stuff. And he was like, problems that he was trying to solve. And I just gave him literally probably 3 or 4 sentences. And I bet you he's built even more stuff since we met last. I bet you any money.
Definitely. You gave me a lot of great tips, Mr. Ian. Definitely.
Yeah, so what we've got in this island is we've got raw talent. We need to give them we need to give them the permission structure to play and hack, right? The good hacking.
Yeah.
and experiment with this technology. It's their technology, right? So play with it. And this is what I think this summer we're going to have the opportunity for 7 weeks to play with robots. We're doing some programming. I'm going to be pulling together some sort of like little, very accessible. These are 7 to 12-year-olds, right? So they're not got a masters in machine learning, but gives them the opportunity to, again, just look underneath the cover and see what this stuff really does. Because the building blocks are fairly straightforward. They're Python, which Brandon's really good at, right? You're self-trained in Python, aren't you?
Self-trained, good word.
He's self-trained. He's self-trained in Python. That blows my mind, right? So he's informally trained and pulling off unbelievable innovation. And then we just want to work with the kids and say it's great. You play with this stuff, right? So, and the investment that Kendra and the people have made into this robotics kit. I mean, we're talking lots of money, right? This stuff it's just wonderful. So. This summer the kids have got a fantastic opportunity. It could be Nickelodeon, it can be Popeyes, or it can be, we could do Nickelodeon, Popeyes, but they can also play with robots, right? Yeah. Program them, have a glimpse of the future today.
And I think, Kendra, what it shows as we bring Brandon into the conversation is that sometimes in the absence of allowing children to explore safely, to be able to recognize that not everybody wants or is inclined to pick up a textbook and get that classroom sort of theoretical learning. Hands-on works, Brandon will share with us as well.
I like to tell people that I really started into this because of my daughter. She's 17 now, but when she was 9, she built her first robot with her best friend Zoe, and they went straight to the state competition, and they were really good at it. And I used to pick up the pins on the floor, just observe, and then I really jumped into it when I moved here because I wanted to start this, and I didn't want it to be school versus school. It's very important to me that this is something that is accessible to all kids here, the common factor is we all live here. And
that's it.
And then the other thing is that all parents that feel like there's a barrier here with technology and understanding, hopefully I'm kind of an inspiration because I have a degree in economics and I grew up in an engineering family, so there's that. But I've enjoyed learning it just granularly and organically. So, and I'm really inspired by what I see here. I think we have an amazing opportunity to affect the next decade and how these kids, what their prospects are and filling their potential.
Indeed. But before I ask you, Brandon, for you, whether you're learning it as Ian shared, sort of intuitively, you're watching the videos, you're, I don't want to say playing around with it, but you're exploring, experimenting, checking it out, right? Two things. What sort of made you be interested in that? What got your attention?
Well, I was asked by a close friend because I work directly with Cayman's ARC, and they said Miss Kendra needs some help. So I had just finished doing some solar panels. I wired up my own breaker box, and they said, well, if you can do that, you can help with Miss Kendra with her great task. Her great task is to teach the children robotics. So I was like, okay, and Cayman's ARC helped me a lot throughout my journey. Like I was having big problems with my roof and stuff, and they helped me out. So I figured I have to give back. I didn't see it as, oh boy, if I can't do it, I'll just have to quit then. I saw it as, I better figure out a way to get it done because these people have helped me with something I really, really wanted, and that was my roof. So I was like, well, I'll help them with what they really, really want then. Yeah. So slowly but surely, it took some weeks of just only doing Vex IQ and going through. And then it got a little more complicated. After we learned how to do it, I got more inspired and I encouraged them to buy more advanced robotic stuff. So for the camp, we do have the small stuff, and then we have some advanced stuff that we're going to surprise the kids with as well.
And Brandon's been really instrumental in helping us at John A. Cumber Primary School and the new ARC Hub. So we've had a great pilot program there. The kids love Brandon, and he's this between generations. I guess I'm old enough to be the kids' grandparents, as they told me. But
what would that make us, Ian? What would that make us?
I don't know. It's a derivative of. Yeah.
All right, we have a quick break to take. When we come back, we'll ask some more questions and enjoy the conversation. For those who want, the phone lines are open. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
The Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office remind all students traveling to and from school overseas to ensure their passports are valid for both travel and entry into their destination country. Passports should be renewed at least 10 weeks before departure, and any necessary student visas must be obtained. For passport services, contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office at 649-7678. For Ministry of Education scholarship inquiries, contact scholarships@gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's super-fast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities. Available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's super-fast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks for the opportunity to focus on 345 robotics, but particularly the notion that for many of us, artificial intelligence, robotics, automation, and the like can be exciting as it can be almost daunting. So through you, Ms. Kendro, thanks for you, Ian, and Brandon for coming on board. And I want to ask, as we start this segment, for many of us as parents, as adults, we may see robotics and think, oh, it's fun and engaging and it's playful. But unless you're in manufacturing or in big places, it's really just fun in the Cayman context. Is that perhaps an unfounded perception? Is it something that I've exaggerated? Help me to understand.
I guess... So when my daughter Kaya started out doing robotics, it was in the context of a competition, and she loves games. She likes playing, especially online games now. But anyway, she did very well competing, and through that pressure to compete and do well, she learned. And I like that idea of gamifying things, and that there's something outside of school that you can do that's learning. Right. You can have learning outcomes with it, and you can also use it in the classroom. I brought, I'll get it in a second. I brought the little project we were working on in the Georgetown primary school. So we just used the robot's brain and a few sensors, and we were learning about Morse code. And Morse code is a very important part of Cayman's heritage, maritime heritage, and it's also a way to explain what a code is. The word SOS is what we focused on, right? Save our ship. But in Wikipedia's definition, SOS can be used in any form of communication. You can use it with a flashlight. You could use it with a sensor. So this is a way of integrating a lot of things that it's sometimes hard to do that in school with specific curriculum outcomes. And so, yes, robotics, maybe it is just fun for a young child, but as an entry point, it's going to introduce them to a lot of things, and at least getting exposed to it. That's what's most important for me. The ones who are great at it, we'll keep working with them, but let's keep bringing in these young ones too, and just letting them start to feel it without having the pressure of a teacher or a grade associated with it.
It takes away that intimidation. You're enjoying it, and I always thought, for me personally, the classroom where it was fun, there's laughter, a little bit of levity, I learned better, as opposed to that space where you couldn't look away. You had to be focused on the teacher and the blackboard, and if you blinked, you were inattentive or disrespectful. But I wanted to ask, using your reference to SOS, there are those who would share, well, we know how to use the thing because we just press the button, but we don't understand what it takes to create the outcome that the button that we just pressed did. So SOS, whether it's a light or it's a little tapping on the hull of the ship, the short dashes and the long dashes. Is it then that we need to know, maybe in your world is the programming, what it takes to go into this thing so that when the outcome is, we can verify that it's accurate?
I think I've always had a deep appreciation for history, and I think history is no less important now because we have digital devices. It might change the way that we see that history, but in terms of understanding the analog world and how that translates into a digital experience is really important. So I also really like robotics because as a way of doing that with kids, because there's a physical thing and they can code and program on a screen, but when you put that code into a robot that's experiencing friction with rubber tires, it's very hard to model that on a screen. So what we want to see is that connection between physical and digital and start that thinking process.
Right.
This is about engineering and design and problem solving in the big picture of like teamwork and working on things and having resilience too. It's not just about robots.
Right. So Ian Gilmore, to you, and I recognize, and thanks again for the time that after the headline news you're going to get back to your regular scheduled day. But there was a world not long ago where we could pull apart the transistor radio, the things that we get, we could deconstruct. Maybe some of us were just destruction, but we would pull it apart. And now, I don't know.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
So I was at Intel last week. You were the first person, one of the first people that knew about my forthcoming
Thank you.
joining of the Intel program. We weren't allowed to break it on your news, but I came back.
Yeah.
So I was at Intel last week at the Intel AI Summit in London. Yes, you can, because everything is software. So underneath... so we have got Intel. I won't go into it because I could spend all day talking about what they're doing. So, but there's hardware, right? But hardware doesn't do anything until it's told what to do. So if the analog in robotics is you're programming the robots and then they respond same way that you're telling a CPU, a GPU or a TPU, a tensor processing unit, to do something. So I spent on the last Tuesday, I spent 5 hours with developers putting what they call Jupyter notebooks up on the screen, and we walk through the lines of code. So that's looking under the hood. So yes, on hardware, you're not going to break apart because the nanometer scale, 3 nanometers is going to be difficult to break apart. But the code, that's what you break apart. And watching developers work with code in these notebooks is really interesting because the guys, they're able to navigate these notebooks so well. And this is something I'm going to introduce Brandon to because it will blow his mind when he sees a Jupyter notebook, because it actually compiles the code and you see the results inside the notebook. It's like it's unbelievable. It's like magic. So yes, you can, but it's the software, and that's what I think is really interesting about what we're doing with the kids, because we were playing with robots yesterday, and there's a graphical user interface, and some of it's click and drag, and some of it's coding. So this is going to help the kids to understand that there's this digital realm and then there's a physical outcome. Now obviously with AI it's a bit slightly different, it's all kind of a digital output, but yes, so in summary the actual underlying code is what we play with, and it's that's where the experimentation, that's where the fun is, and when you've got fearless innovators like Brandon, then there's new discoveries around the corner.
Well, one thing I want to give Brandon a heads up is after the 2 o'clock headlines, I want to talk to you about how you I'll use the word sort of explore and experiment, how you in Ian's words, hack. You're looking at this thing and you're trying to figure it out, and I liken it to have a recipe. I'm in the kitchen, here's a tried and true recipe. What if I take out the cinnamon, or what if I add more cumin? What if I said I want it savory as opposed to sweet? I chalked it with some cinnamon or chalked with some cayenne. It's not dissimilar.
Well, Java is like the Java code that's like whatever that's coffee, right?
Yeah.
So food and programming, most programs live off pizza and Coca-Cola. So
there you go. So as we go into the news break, final sort of comments to you, Ian, given that you have to go on. For parents in particular, because we're literally the drivers. We take our children in those places. We're the ones that either our enthusiasm at times would determine whether the child sticks with it or whether it's nurtured to, hey, I know it looks frustrating now, but continue. The adults, from the educator to the parent, to the parliamentarian, to the policy analyst, how do we get our people to understand that this could be transformative in the Cayman space?
So we've had this conversation. I believe that everybody should be playing with this stuff anyway, but getting 20, 30-year-olds to play robots is probably a bit of a push. But we know the 7, 13, 14 sweet spot that we're playing with, that's the generation that we've still got, they're so excited about this stuff, especially when they've got someone like Brandon inspire them. So in summary, I think creating the permission structure, giving them the opportunities to play with this kind of stuff and be mentored by people like Brandon. That's how they're not going to listen to me so much because I look like their granddad. When they're playing with Brandon's cool, right? So Brandon's super cool, and he's got this infectious personality, and he's very hands-on, and that's the way I think I want parents, if you like, and educators to think, getting more people like Brandon into working with these kids, and it's just infectious. It's just an organic process, and I've seen it. We were at Georgetown primary school a couple of weeks ago, and we were like quite popular, weren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, the kids love the robot.
He's trying to say he's cool.
I had a T-shirt like that, so for a couple of hours I felt cool as well. So.
There you go. Well, from the Marie Martin Primary School to the Westbury Primary, it's important that we have these. After the break, Ms. Kendra, can we talk about some of the things you've done, maybe some of the things that you're coming up, including the summer camp? And then, Brandon, we want to ask more about you because increasingly, I think Ian alluded to it, we may have a perception of what a programmer looks like. We may have a perception of what it takes to get into coding, into robotics, and you have to go to MIT or the Bluff University in the Brack. I mean, we may think that's where we need to go, and those things are helpful, but maybe not only. Could we talk about those things? And then, Ian, can you get some chocolate on the way out? After the break, join us. Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. Local photographer Philip Richter is fostering community among Cayman creatives through free model photography meetups. The events leverage the island's natural beauty and serve as a collaborative space for artists. Starting with a successful social at Georgetown Outpost, the initiative has grown, offering practical experience and mentorship. The next meetup is scheduled for June the 23rd at the Georgetown Library parking lot, moving towards Hero Square and the waterfront. Interested individuals can follow the group on Instagram at ky.meetups for details. In regional news, Dr. Horace Chang, Jamaica's National Security Minister, emphasized the government's commitment to enhancing border security at the Overseas Security Advisory Council Aviation Security Conference. The government is actively investing in resources and technology for the Jamaica Defense Force and Jamaica Constabulary Force to address security challenges. The conference serves as a platform for sharing best practices and strengthening collaboration against transnational threats, with the goal of Jamaica's economy and reputation from criminal activities. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew of St. Kitts and Nevis is heading a delegation to Taiwan from June 20 to June 27th to reinforce diplomatic ties and explore new cooperation opportunities. The visit underscores the Caribbean nation's commitment to the relationship with Taiwan, despite China's stance on the One China policy. The delegation includes key government officials and aims to strengthen bilateral relationship between the two nations. That's your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to Ms. Kendra Konsky. I always get that wrong. I got it right this time?
You got it right.
Got it. I try so hard, Miss Kendra. And Brandon, in this last name, I may get wrong. Ebanks, not Eubanks. But all jokes aside, I in his absence, thanks to Ian Gilmore for connecting us. And hopefully, as we, as adults who are listening and laughing along, see the importance that there's a lot of learning that's taking place. And through this, I think, Brandon, with you, I said at the outset, we have a perception sometimes of what it takes to get into a space, what it requires for people to excel, to have success. And Ian, singing your praises, your ease with which you sort of adopted and adapted. And I mean, talk to us, man. It's exciting.
Definitely. I guess I did remember I said I hooked up the solar panels and then I was asked to help out. After I was asked to help out, I enjoyed it. So I didn't just get asked to do the favor and I'm like, oh man, I gotta teach robots. Oh man, right? I enjoyed it a lot. So I started to take the next step and said, all right, instead of me just seeing this as a small favor to, repay my debts, I'm going to start investing my time in learning how to program it. So if a child asks more deeper questions, I'm actually able to help out. Instead of just being like someone on the side, I said, what if I'm one of the main people that the kids come to and say, Mr. Brandon, I need to know how to get this to work. And instead of me saying, oh, no, you got to go check Miss Kendra, I'm not that smart yet.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to tell a child that, I'm not educated enough yet. I said, I'm going to do it. So in my spare time, I made it my mission to know what to do. So that meant a lot of programming in Python, like Mr. Ian was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking, what if I want to build my own personal robot too? So,
do you take orders? Because I have an old robot I may want you to build. But in sharing that, I can see where the students come to you. You go to Ian, right? Ian has, publicly, acknowledged he has a mentor. So that knowledge transfers down. Everybody has somebody who's supporting, who's backing, who is assisting, right? And I think this is where the camps allow us. I want to ask Brandon further, but quickly, Ms. Kinder, when is the camp? Because parents are planning and thinking, and how can we get involved?
Yeah, so we have a website, 345robotics.org, and we have Instagram and Facebook, so we've been putting out information there. The intention is always to make this affordable. We do have some, costs that we needed to cover, and over the past few years, it's been an absolute honor and privilege to mentor a number of Caymanians who've gone on to do really cool things and are still doing cool things. So I think I wanted to emphasize that, how important it is that our kids have people that aren't in our families, that aren't and teachers can be amazing mentors, but there's a lot of other people that can be too. And sometimes it's like having that independent person in your life can really make a big difference. So,
indeed, and sometimes you listen to that person more readily than you would the person who is known to you. If I might ask, then Brandon, you're looking at online videos, you're checking things. So how do you determine that that thing you're watching is actually beneficial? It's telling you how to connect this dot to that dot to build this thing to get that outcome. How do you know that what you're seeing actually is worthwhile, is sensible, isn't?
Okay, I have a background goal, right? We said that not only are we going to teach, but maybe a handful of dedicated children that are, enjoying it as much as we are, we're going to give away some robots to them. But it can't be anything dangerous. It has to be just, a robot that can walk, can see, identify objects. And with Mr. Ian's help, the biggest part is we are going to make it that you could speak to your robot and it can reply with the whole entire knowledge of Wikipedia and answer you almost any question offline without a computer. So the plan is now to give away a super smart robot. So we're learning everything it takes to teach the kids the Vex IQ that we have, but we have an agenda that we plan to make sure we wow the whole entire summer camp.
I'll tell you about an experience I observed just on my trip recently with a robot and an interview, right? But before I do, remind me, because I may forget, I get excited here. Ms. Kendra, sometimes as parents, we see our children on their devices and they're watching videos and they're doing things, and I would venture to say that every single parent, I wonder if what little Jeannie, little Johnny is doing is productive. They're just wasting their time, and yet if we engage them, they might actually be surprised as parents how much the child is learning from this thing. So how do we take him from Brandon's example? He's watching videos, as Ian shared, learning, applying it, experimenting.
Well, I have 2 daughters of my own that are teenagers, and they've grown up in this era of digital natives. I think our brains haven't changed how we learn. So especially that 0 to 6 age group, like they need the physical things that they're doing, like doing Legos and painting and making messes and all the things that make these fine motor skill connections and our other sort of nervous system connections to our brain. So, I understand the temptation very much to like let these things be a babysitter, but I think it also is really important to be mindful with your kids, and just the same as anybody else, like reading to them is so important, right? And being able to paint pictures with words in your head instead of just using something on a screen to do that. So I think in terms of age groupings, the reason we are working with 7-year-olds and up is because they start to have a cognitive understanding of things and start asking important questions at the time. I have a few of the things that we use. So it's also a teaching system. So it has a full curriculum that you can use. And we've adapted some of that here in the classroom context, because sometimes the bigger robots, you need a lot of time to build them. Brandon and I have been finding that, we've spent hours and hours and hours after school working on them, and in the classroom context, it's a bit easier to kind of drill into it with these basic devices. But also, once you start making the connection between what's happening on a phone or what's happening on YouTube, or, I asked the kids in the classroom at Marie Martin Primary School what they wanted to do in the future. I wasn't there, unfortunately, on career day, so I just wanted to find out. And a lot of them, they have very noble intentions of being, policemen or bankers or lawyers.
Talk show host.
I didn't hear that one. I didn't hear robotics instructor. I did hear YouTuber, and so I was trying to encourage them to just think over the next decade. This, among other technologies, we're going to see a big shift, and it could have a big impact on industry here. Yeah. So we need to prepare these kids, not by saying your job, that job's not going to exist. It's like, how do we take that potential for this technology to change it in beneficial ways for us too, and help them to start thinking that way.
All right. Some of us are probably familiar or use or at least heard about Raspberry Pi, for instance. But the devices before you, the robots, you say they're good teaching tools. Give us an example how you would use that either in the classroom setting or as another activity on a weekend or in your club or the like.
I'm going to let Brandon take this one.
Okay.
So we had a nice experience with one of our students that's from Acts of Random Kindness, and teaching about the bumper. Do you remember that a couple of months ago? Where you helped him to write a program, right? And the program was to learn how, so on the screen, the program using these robotic sensors, how to make the robot go back and forth on the little field.
Okay.
So it's just a basic learning principle of like finding a way to create a mechanical system with all of the things intact, and problem solving is a huge part of this, right? Our big motto for the kids is problems aren't failures. So one cable in the wrong place can make everything go wrong. Mm-hmm. One little loose cable can make everything go wrong, or one little piece of code can make everything go wrong. So Brandon's been really brilliant at like taking that, and just he's so patient, and can sit there and work with one child that's maybe the outlier kid, but then you watch their eyes light up and all the wheels start to turn, so to speak.
Yeah. So Brandon, share with us. I mean, you're now teaching the children, you're learning, and they said if you can teach them, you actually know, right? Yeah. Sometimes people can do, but they don't know how to get that knowledge in the hands of the student, unless the student is able to grasp by seeing. Teaching improves your learning, gets them engaged. How do you get them to that space where, like, as Ms. Kendra said, the wheels start turning?
Yes, a lot of the students, they see the other students at another level, because sometimes not all students are working at the same. So some students are right here, and then some students are all the way ready to drive. So they get inspired. They're like, I can't believe, let's use not a real student's name, but they see another student, and they're like, how is this student got this far, so far? Like, Mr. Brandon, help me. What are we supposed to be doing next? So they see other students, that helps them get inspired as well. But we had a presentation too, where we would always teach the kids. We were teaching them that, this is like a car you're building. You're actually building a car, and a car needs motors and stuff, and it's a drivetrain really that pushes the car. So we have a electronic drivetrain. Your car will have a drivetrain for the gasoline type cars and stuff, but this is our electric version right here, and this is what we build.
I think that the kids also have a drive to really engage with the rest of the world, and sometimes that's a little difficult here. We're kind of isolated, and that, believe me, it can be very good too. But this is a million kid competition all around the world, and so the drive to be able to go and see other kids somewhere else, I think, is really we'd like to try to get that accomplished this year, and we have to perhaps have some sponsorship in order to do that. But I mean, honestly, some of the kids we work with, they never leave West Bay, so this is a big ambition for them.
And who knows? I mean, that dream now could be realized, where that child today is an entrepreneur tomorrow with some great innovation, all because of a seed that was, sort of sparked today. All right, we got to, the final break of our discussion. When we come back, let's talk more about the upcoming summer camp, when it is, where it is, how long it'll be, who can access it, some of the things, potentially, the travel opportunities and competitions that lie ahead, but the career paths that this could take, so that 7-year-old is thinking about, when she's 20, when she's 40. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Speed into Dream Carnival with Digicel, Cayman's #1 5G network. Win day-wear packages and aftermath tickets by activating a 10-day Prime Pro bundle or paying your bill on time. Don't miss out on these epic events. Go to your nearest Digicel store today or activate a plan in the My Digicel app for your chance to start fatting today. Digicel, better connected.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
This is Sherry Ebanks, and I work in the financial services sector. I am concerned about how climate change is affecting our beautiful beaches. Sea level rise and changing wind patterns are worsening the erosion of our beaches, and warmer temperatures are causing more sargassum to reach our shores. When our beaches are degraded, our tourism sector and the livelihoods of Caymanians are put in jeopardy. To learn more about the climate risks to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and to Brandon and Ms. Kendra, thanks for sharing with us. So 345 Robotics, you are assisting many of our students to enjoy robotics, to engage them, to recognize that, if I'm listening to you correctly, take away that sort of level of trepidation, or the robots are coming, but maybe understand that the robots won't function unless we're programming them. And even if they're doing, somebody needs to, service them, fix them, make sure they're working. Right, Brandon?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, talk to me.
All right. A lot of the times, right, you know what kids' natural instinct is? To run the robots straight into each other. Robot fight. Let's fight them, make them crash, smash, right? They just can't help but
Didn't you watch that?
That's the natural instinct. And that we give, every time we see that happen, we use that as an opportunity to say, all right, look, there's a purpose for the robots. It's not about just smashing them into each other, guys. We show them everything, like the Amazon robots that have a purpose. They're going to move the crates because, people are buying the products. It has to be moved. So that's a good purpose. And then we have a class robot, actually, that cleans the floor. So nobody has to clean the floor. So that's another good example. We show them, like, look, if you, pay attention in class, you'll be able to clean your whole floor, but just building your own robot at home one day. So there's uses. It's not just,
Yeah. But it's entertainment, but it's utility as well.
Yeah, and I think there's... when I first moved here a few years ago, there was an article in the Compass about one of my very favorite people that I've met here, Jack Copper, who's owns a business in the special economic zone, and he's worked on machine learning and AI forever. But he worked with a young man here to create a neural network that would, in principle, be able to go through the reefs and identify lionfish, so that then it could take the lionfish out, because we know they're an invasive species. And so I love that kind of thinking where it's about our particular context and the problems that we have. Often I will get the kids to draw a picture of a robot that could solve a problem in the Cayman Islands. And I think my favorite one so far was a robot that would... there's a person imagining pizza, and the robot just shows up with pizza, because our problem is we don't get pizza when we want it right then and there. So.
See, that I would. And you can get your own favorite toppings.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so,
my.
anyway,
Even if Brandon, your mission, you choose to accept it. But these are things that may be, no pun intended, pie in the sky, right? See what I did there? Could come to fruition if you are willing to have that space where the creativity is now allowed, as Ian shared, to be explored, to be nurtured, or to be encouraged.
And like I've said before, it's an entry point. So a summer camp is a good time to see if a child wants to pursue it after that, maybe in the context of competing or things like that. But even just a week long, yes, they could sit at home and watch Nickelodeon or just be on their tablets, or they could be engaging with other kids in that context. So we really are intending to make this affordable. And in the fall, we're hoping to be able to bring it to a couple more schools. And exactly what that looks like, it's a little hard to know.
Right.
I'm all about serendipity, but I really love the idea of mentoring people like Brandon to be able to bring this to a wider audience here.
If I may ask, for your summer camp, if your dream could be realized, how would you like it? Would you want it to be 1 week long across all the districts, the whole entire summer? What would you like if you could have that?
So I think what I've noticed from different ways that I've run it in the past and like these kind of pilot project approaches is that the kids who really enjoy it, I would love for them to be able to just come back for a few weeks and work with them to really get their knowledge up to speed on lots of different aspects. And that we work in teams. So even though the fighting robots is appealing on TV, this is all about teamwork. And so a lot of people will specialize in certain things. And so you could be good at design, you could be good at coding, you could be good at driving, but you might not be good at all those things, which is why a team really works well.
Yeah.
And to cultivate teams, you really need more engagement than 1 week. So
I think of automotive engineering and you know, the car designer has a concept, somebody molds it, the lady comes in and she says, well, this needs to be propelled, how can I tune the engine? Everybody plays a role for the final assembly, and this concept car becomes production model, right? I'll give you my specs.
Yeah, it's a microcosm of how our economy works too.
Exactly.
We all specialize in certain things, and nobody knows how to make a pencil, right? All the little components of a pencil, it takes lots of different resources to come together. So I like that analogy also.
Very, very well. So, Brandon, to you then. I mean, I recognize and thank you all for coming and sharing with us. And I'm hoping that increasingly we, the adults, the parents, the teachers, that we start to understand the importance of how do we divide our time? How do we allocate our resources? Time in particular to make sure that these opportunities are afforded, as much to our 7-year-olds to perhaps our 70-year-olds. They can come in and learn. I mean, I don't know about you, but there's stuff on the phone that I wish I knew. Right. So, to you, if I were to ask, as you talk to your 7-year-old students, your young teens, what do you want them to come when they come to the space? What do you want them to bring? An open mind, and what else?
Yeah, definitely an open mind. A lot are very willing to learn. From the time they see it, they're just very willing to learn. Some of them have problems, like they will be harassing other students and stuff like that. So I guess just a very, very willing to learn attitude helps, because the ones that we don't really like scold them, so to speak. It's just, okay, well, you've wasted your time, right? The ones that don't waste their time, now at the end of class, it's like, how did you get that far? How did you build all of that with that little bit of time?
Right.
And then we explain, well, you were talking, look, you didn't use your time wisely. So when they come with the extreme mind of, I'm going to get my work done, that you can take that and go far.
Let me then ask you finally, because looking at some things, whether it's a sport that you've never played, you're seeing a robot or like, that can make some people a little bit intimidated. They're not quite sure what to do. And so as a result, they don't attend, they pull back when they do attend. How do we get them to say, hey, this is this, and unless you come to it, you won't get. How do we get them to be not so afraid and intimidated?
Okay, very good question, actually. A very good question.
I was going to say, this system really is designed for learning, and that's what makes it so accessible. These are the same sensors that Amazon's robots use, which I think is a really great way to explain it to kids. Like, even if we don't have an Amazon warehouse, we can watch a video, but this is why it can be accessible for anybody. We could have our older people helping be judges for our competitions, right? Because they have knowledge about how things work in the world that the kids don't. And we have lots of different aspects of the competition that aren't even just about driving, about a design of a notebook or things like that too. So it really offers a lot for everyone.
Yeah, I guess one way we could say, another way would be just taking them apart, because they know Legos already. So when they see one, we could say, just go ahead, start taking it apart slow. And once they do that, they're like, oh, okay, well, now I know how to put it back together because I just took it apart. And it's just like Legos, they always say. Until you get to the motorized parts, then that's the special part.
Yeah.
And we also know a lot more about how our cars work after doing this. So it has a lot of practical implications too
And I think if you become familiar with something, it takes away that level of anxiety, trepidation, intimidation. Probably similar to if you put a face to a name, then you know the person. All of a sudden, that thing that you may have as a misconception is gone away because now, this is Brandon, the robotics engineer, as opposed to, Brandon, the football striker.
Yeah.
Ms. Kendra, final thoughts from you, Mom.
Well, I think we'd love to come back
Yes.
after the summer. Again, encourage people to just use our form online, 345robotics.org. You can sign up. Don't worry. Just if the cost is something that's a big factor for you, we'll work with you. And we really do hope to find some sponsors that can help us make sure that everybody here can attend.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe at the end of the summer, we'd like to have a kind of scrimmage competition that people could come and watch and have fun learning about it with us. So, and again, we have Instagram at 345robotics, so you can follow us and connect with us there. And anybody that also feels like they want to come and learn and help the Brandons of the world or others, it's a very open approach to how we want to accomplish our end goals.
Aligning those synergies, forging partnerships, providing opportunities. Brandon, here's an outlet for you, right? So, to you, your closing thoughts and maybe call to the parents to encourage their children.
Definitely, yeah. What we would say to some people too is, if your child is struggling with like reading or math, and then all of a sudden they get the chance to just be hands-on and actually start, making the robot move, altering it, modifying it, making changes. They get confidence that they can do things as well as motor skills and stuff, start working in their brain more. So it's encouraging them to learn. So instead of just learning robotics, when they get back to math, it's like, well, if I could do the robot thing, I can do the math thing or the English thing.
Yeah. They're building on their confidence. It's very true. Wow. Thanks very much, Ms. Kendra. And to you and Brandon, maybe others who partner, whether through sponsorship, who provide in an extra pair of hands to assist. These are avenues that the students will benefit. The prospective, employers and entrepreneurs of tomorrow may be right here. That Nobel Prize winner may be right here.
I hope so.
All right, me too. Well, please enjoy the rest of the week. Let us know how we can help you to encourage. We talk about STEM education in schools, but this is it at work. So thanks very much. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, yesterday was a holiday. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow, please join Mr. Art because I know you missed him yesterday as he brings you for the record. Come back for a talk today. We're going to partner with the HSA. We thank them for allowing us to yield this spot so we can give them one tomorrow. We're going to be talking about scoliosis and the like. Right, Miss Susan? And then, of course, this afternoon, my sisters sent me some mangoes, so I can enjoy them. All right. Have fun. God's willing. See you tomorrow.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Oh, Cayman moon.
The voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman.
Shining down from above.
Radio